So I don't really have the opportunity to get up and make a case. If I got up and pled the case, I would have been ruled out of order, and I wasn't going to give them the opportunity to do that. You have to save debate if we actually have the question in front of you. All I can do at this time is ask to have it considered. Everybody knew what this debate was about. I mean, everybody in the chamber knew what was going to happen this morning. Everybody knows the arguments pro and con. Everybody's heard from their constituents. And I think that the building has been flooded with calls and letters in the last few days. I was disappointed that some of the Democrats who had previously voted for this amendment chose to vote against it today. I don't really understand why they have changed their position, but that's their conscience that they'll have to live with on that.
When you say this amendment, you mean the
constitutional amendment.
Okay.
Yeah, there were 7 Democrats who previously voted for the constitutional amendment in 2005, and today they voted against it. Why they have flip-flopped on that position, I don't really understand. I imagine it's due to political pressure from the leadership. But
But you have people in your own caucus who would never vote for this.
Well, there were 46 Republicans. Mr. Watts is out of the building.
Okay.
He is not here today.
Sorry, I don't know.
He would have voted for it had he been here, but he was not here today. And as it turns out, that would have made a difference in the final vote count. But we've reached the halfway point in session. We're 51 days through a 100-day session. Thought this was a good time to finally try to force the issue, but apparently the Democratic leadership has gotten their members to knuckle under, and that they won't be voting their own conscience.
Will I see this on a campaign flyer this fall?
No, I don't know. The fact is, many of the Democrats are in favor of gay marriage. Some of them are against it. I think it's the Democrats who have flipped on their position that perhaps have some explaining to do to their voters. We'll see if their voters feel it's an issue. That's not really for me to decide.
Is this the last time you'll try this?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Because you could up until the very end of the session.
We could try to find it another opportunity to do it. If I got a sense that some of the Democrats would change their mind and would support us on this, we'd be willing to try it. There are other ways to bring this issue to the floor, and we still have 49 days to go before adjournment, so always keep your options open and look for other opportunities to find a way to bring it to the floor.
What are those other ways that you do?
Well, if I tell you, the Democratic staff member standing in the back will probably go right to the majority leader and tell him. So I prefer to keep those options to myself at this stage of the game. But there are other opportunities. There are other ways to try to bring the issue to the floor for the full House to debate. And we'll see how the next 49 days go. If some of the Democrats who voted for it in 2005 have a change of heart and are willing to vote for it again, we'll employ those strategies. If they continue to do what they're told by the speaker, then it's probably a moot point.
How much will you be talking to them between now and the next 14 days?
We'll find an opportunity to talk to them. And more importantly, I think their constituents will be talking to them. And ultimately, that's what it's about. What I think is, as a Republican floor leader, doesn't really matter. It's what their constituents believe. It's what their constituents are telling them. Those are the folks who hold them accountable and will ask them why they changed their position. Those are the people whose voices really count in this debate. It's not what I say up on the floor. And that's what this whole debate is about. It's about listening to the will of the people of the state and having the people make a decision. It's not about, letting one judge in Polk County make this decision for the entire state of Iowa. This is about the will of the people, either expressed through the General Assembly or allowing the people of the state to have a vote on a constitutional amendment. It's about the will of the people. And I think some of those people are going to be contacting their state representatives and say, if you supported it before, why did you change your mind and why are you opposed to it now?
Are you questioning the absence of some of the Democrats to perhaps avoid getting on the record today because they knew you were going to make this move?
I've wondered about that, but I also know I have a member that is excused, or not excused, but he's gone from the Capitol today. It's something that he couldn't get out of, and so I'm not going to throw any stones at that. I'm disappointed that they weren't here, but I'm disappointed that my member's not here as well.
Is this one of the most pressing issues for Republicans?
No, it's not one of the most pressing issues in the state, but it is an issue in the state. Here's my point. If the General Assembly has an hour to debate sewage and septic systems, okay, I didn't choose to bring that to the floor for the debate, but the majority leader thought sewage systems was an important enough issue that we would spend an hour of the House's time debating that. So if we have an hour to debate that issue, surely we have at least 10 minutes to debate traditional marriage. We have a lot of issues that come before the House. Some are more pressing than others. The debate last week on taxes, I thought was a very pressing issue. debate on sewage systems, I'm not sure is so pressing. But if we've got the time to debate that issue, then surely we have the time to debate traditional marriage.